I'm here with Jaakko of Marianas Rest to talk about their new, I was going to say upcoming album, but the album is out already, or out March 24th on Napalm Records. You had a release party. You look tired. Uh, how are you doing today?
Thanks. I think I'm going to survive. I can say at this point. Yesterday I was kind of like, maybe I'll survive or maybe I won't. But now it seems like I'm going to live through this. I have some. We have a saying, suolasilmät. I have those right now. I've had so much salt to try to kill the hangover yesterday. It kind of, I can barely see. But yeah, we had a lot of fun, and you have to kind of do these things every now and then, kind of.
Yeah, no, and it's an album release, so you have to enjoy these moments. They're important. And talking about the album, what do you think? What do you see on this record that helps set this record apart from the previous albums that you guys did?
I think we kind of tried to take a different perspective. All the previous albums kind of were, but they happened inside one person's head, and now we try to kind of take the focus out a little bit and look on the level of society and nations and that sort of stuff. Maybe that's it. And of course I think we had there was more peace in making this album as the previous ones. We knew straight away after the last record that we are going to do another one for Napalm, and because the pandemic was over, it wasn't over, it was on us. We didn't get to do really much shows or anything like that, so we had a lot of time, and we didn't want to kind of get lazy. We started to make music straight away, so in the end we had a lot of time to kind of try different things. Some of the songs are already maybe 2 years old, at least a year and a half. So yeah, we had more time to tinker with them, and maybe you can hear it on some of the songs. We tried a bit different things and tried to kind of had more mellow parts, maybe more of kind of etheric shoegaze type of vibe and a bit of clean singing.
Yeah. There's a lot of new elements on this record. I mean, I think they were a little bit there before, but not as predominant as they are there now. But one of the things that stayed the same is how well structured the album is. You guys always create records that have a sense of beginning, middle, and end. It regardless of where the sound takes you, that design is always there. Do you guys create a record always with that in mind, or is that just part now of the organic process of you guys creating a record? It just shows up.
Well, yeah, we try to do them so that we have a proper kind of dramatic curve, so to say. We had the theme first. That's probably the most important thing if you want to kind of do this sort of theatrical, I don't know, kind of records. So we had that, and then we just started to make melody to the story, put it in parts, and just try to make all the parts so that we could tell the story. And the idea was to kind of start from a very, very dark place, and come to kind of have everything crumble, and then there's this kind of brief moment of beauty and light, and when you kind of have everything is burnt to the ground, and the survivors are there, and maybe they start looking at each other kind of in a different perspective, and try to kind of rebuild and that sort of stuff. And but in the end it kind of ends up on the same track as it where it started, and it starts getting on the wrong track again. And in the end we try to kind of have the same sort of vibe than on the beginning of the album, so it kind of goes full circle. That was what we tried to do.
One of the great things about the sound on this record is that extra fuzziness on the guitars. But that extra fuzziness didn't take away the more melodic side of the band. You could still hear the more melodic side of the band. What were you guys trying to do by adding that more down-tuned fuzz sound to some of the guitars on this record?
Well, I think we're just trying to kind of find our own thing, our own original sound. I don't think we are a doom metal band. I don't think we are a death metal band, and we are definitely not a sludge or a stoner type of. We're kind of, there are different parts from everything, but we kind of don't see us as a genre band, and maybe that was the reason to kind of try to create a soundscape that is not so death metal-y than before. And yeah, our producer said that he kind of looks as us like as an indie band with heavy guitars, and yeah, that comes close, I think. And of course we didn't want to move too far away. We wanted to kind of keep we are the same band. We want to keep the kind of the heart center of the band alive, but yeah, just try to kind of evolve a bit again, I guess.
So is this record sound-wise the closest record to not necessarily where you guys think you're going to be, but where you guys want your DNA to be?
Yeah, I think so. So far, we are not there yet. I think you can always kind of you need to push yourself to different locations. But yeah, I think we are getting there. This is the closest we've gotten so far. And of course, that doesn't mean that I'm not happy with the previous albums. I was really all of them kind of. I think we are gradually kind of becoming better. That's what we try to do. That's what we aim at. And if it's kind of, it's of course it's important how other people feel and see it, if they like it or not. But the most important thing is that you can yourself be happy with the results.
Yeah, this was a strange record for me because I really liked Fata Morgana, the previous record. I mean, I've liked every single record that you guys have done, and this record is super strong. It's hard to say, like everybody always says that their new record is their best record. It's hard to say that, but this record is different. It really shows a lot of what you guys did in the previous albums, but at the same time, it shows that you're not just creating the same album all over again. Like you're trying to bring some new elements of who Marianas Rest is to the table and maybe redefining a little bit of those elements. I know you guys want to evolve. Is that something that beyond being important for you guys as a band is important for you guys as individuals, so things don't get stale and repetitive?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's well put. We don't want to, of course, we want to do things that we enjoy, but you kind of, all of us, I think, as persons are the kind of people who need to kind of, we need to push each other out of the comfort zone all the time. Otherwise, it kind of, yeah, it gets stale. It kind of loses the edge, and because the music is kind of, we don't have so many different kind of tools in the toolbox as some of the bands. We kind of try to, we are a hammer and nail type of a group. So we try to kind of add something a little bit that we can use later on and kind of and see how it fits us maybe too. But yeah, I think that the moment that we kind of stop going out from our comfort zones, then you can kind of you can bury us. I think it will lose. It doesn't kind of, it loses its relevance for us, I think.
I agree. One of the things I noticed first, even before the fuzziness on the guitars, was that you guys on this record added a lot of these ambience, these atmospheric instrumental portions at the beginning of the songs, taking you sometimes to the halfway of the song before vocals even come in. And I thought was really interesting because you don't see that every day. And it allows you to kind of lose yourself in the song. And then when the vocals start, you almost don't even realize that there's vocals because you're kind of like in this fog that you guys created. What was the thought process by looking at a song and thinking, hey, maybe starting songs this way throughout the record is going to create something different? What are you guys trying to do?
I think that was one of the things that we didn't see that well. I see it now. We kind of, but yeah, we kind of eventually all the songs kind of had not all, but most of the songs had kind of really slow start, and that's actually a bit of a problem too, because when we are on the Spotify age, it isn't a good thing to kind of people who kind of don't know the band and hear a song for the first time. Not a lot of people kind of have the endurance to go through it. You have to have something to kind of go straight to the point. And I think we had only one song on this record that kind of was like that. But yeah, that kind of, I don't know how it happened. It just happened. Maybe I remember you kind of suggested last time we talked about after the Fata Morgana release that maybe we should kind of do kind of interludes. Maybe, and we didn't kind of, maybe that was a good advice. Maybe we'll do it next time. have to.
Now you're thinking back and you're like, Pedro was right.
Yeah.
There's
the first time it has happened to you.
There's always the next record. There's always the next one. So don't worry about it. There's always the next one. I have to ask you this because there's a lot of people in metal bands with harsh vocals and these dark, deep vocals. You're not doing something that nobody else has never done. But one thing I really enjoy about your vocals is that with that style, you're able to transmit a lot of emotion, which is not necessarily normal. Like normally those vocals are just very straightforward. You get that one style and that's it. But in that style, you're really able to give a lot of life to the lyrics. Where does that come from? Does it come from you maybe writing the lyrics? Does it come from your own feelings that you're getting from the song? Like, where does that start?
Yeah, I think it starts from the way we do the songs. We do them as a group, and I kind of I'm not kind of the guy who plays instruments that much, but I enjoy kind of creating the songs with the other guys. And when all of us are on the rehearsal studio and everybody gets to kind of have their own ideas in, that's where the kind of songs really mean a lot to me when they are on demo stage. It's not like somebody makes them ready and then I just add lyrics and vocals, but they are kind of really feel like my own songs, and then it's easy to kind of lose yourself into them emotionally, and I just try to kind of think as I want to be able not to think when I'm kind of doing the vocals in the studio. You kind of have to get over the part where you think that, okay, this is kind of deep growl, this is high-pitched scream and that sort of stuff. You want to kind of forget all of that and just try to live through the lyrics, and kind of it's more like acting, I think, than anything technical. And we had some parts on this record, for example, the Sirens, the last scream part on the record, on the album, we recorded it technically really well first time, and then there was just something wrong with it. It didn't feel right, and I said to them that we have to do this again. It sounds kind of too flawless, and then we did it again, and I just screamed as hard as I could, and kind of it's not technically really good, but it just fits It has more emotion to it, and that's all we need at this band. It's all about the emotion.
I think you're a great vocalist from that point of view. Like the way you sing, you can freaking feel it. Like you can feel the lyrics. I think you have a very unique characteristic in your delivery that really helps the band and really helps it set apart from other bands that have similar approaches. How much work do you put into your vocals? Are you one of those guys that doesn't do nothing? Or are you one of those guys that works on it quite a bit?
I think I'm somewhere in between, I guess. We rehearse as a group. Yeah, we do it regularly, and well, I have my own little recording place here in my home. So that's where I kind of, when I need to do something on my own, I rehearse here. And well, now we are getting to the point that, well, I just booked my first singing lessons. So that's kind of the same thing. You out of your comfort zone. It feels really fucking awkward and horrible. But looking forward to it, to kind of embarrass myself in front of everybody. But but I'm not the type of kind of like a hardcore rehearse guy who needs to kind of and I wouldn't have the time either way. I have a job that takes a lot of time. Then we have the band as a group takes a lot of time, and then you have family and that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, whenever I can, I try to kind of keep myself in shape.
When it comes to the record, you mentioned the clean vocals. There's quite a bit of clean vocals on this album. There's like spoken word, almost like a narrator style. I mean, vocally, the album is super dynamic. How much do those pockets of clean vocals, of like the narrator style, how much that helps you stay fresh, stay organic, and stay connected?
I think they're important. You use the dynamic is the kind of key word. I think they're really important. They're kind of part of what makes us as a band. And it would get quite monotonic, I think, if you would just kind of shout throughout the whole album. No matter how good you are, it just, I don't think there are some exceptions who can do it, kind of just have so much power in their voice that they can just go monotonic and it still sounds good all the time. But I don't think I am one of those guys, so we need something else. And because we kind of, there's not a natural kind of clean singer in our band. We have many guys who can kind of do something, but it needs to be something specific. We can't just pick a song, have other people pick us songs that we could sing. We need to kind of, we are not that good. So yeah. So that the kind of the spoken word parts came naturally because we needed something, and that was what we could do. But now it kind of, yeah, I think it's been around for a while that we feel that maybe it's time to kind of try to take the final step and try to do so, and kind of do those kind of clean vocals that don't kind of feel too poppy or like that it's kind of just to have more listeners, or you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So that's one of the kind of challenges to kind of have those kind of parts, but not to have them feel like they're kind of just thrown in because money and fame and that sort of stuff.
And speaking of money and fame, you guys got Aaron Steinthorpe of My Dying Bride on this record, on it. How did that happen?
Well, through a mutual friend. We realized we had a friend who knew Aaron, and we did a live recording when we released Fata Morgana. We recorded all the songs on a cabin live because we didn't get to play them live anywhere else. And he happened to catch it on YouTube, and he really liked it. And well, we kind of gathered our courage then and asked him, because we knew we wanted to have somebody to actually sing lyrics on this record. We haven't had that. Niilo Sevanen from Insomnium, he has recited poems and that sort of stuff, but we wanted someone to sing and kind of, we wanted to make melodic lyrics for someone, and we threw some names around, but really kind of didn't realize that we could ask him. And yeah, of course it was super cool and exciting when he's one of the nicest guys probably there is, really friendly and really and well, he's kind of one of the legends on our music genre. So of course it was terrifying and satisfying, and yeah. And when we first heard his voice the first time on the track, it was kind of a surreal moment, really strange.
Yeah, it happened. Kind of, you're like, oh man, this really happened.
Yeah, this really happened. It's happening now. Because of course we are from Finland. We have our doubts, and you really kind of, you don't want to get overexcited, because most of the time everything goes to hell anyway. So we kind of
in Finland, the glass is always half empty.
Yeah, always.
I get that impression from everybody. In Finland, everything is always so negative. Everything is always half empty. Nothing is ever going to work. So I get what you're coming from. So now that you guys got that bucket list moment, you got them on a track. Is there somebody else out there that would be equally cool to have on a track on a future album besides me?
We are definitely going to ask you. That was a hard question. Really tough one. There are lots of people, I think, but it's really hard to name anybody. Right. Well, of course we love Sentenced, so I don't know, Taneli Arvo would be super cool. Yeah, but I think this is one of the things that we have to kind of go through as a band. If I already fucked up, I said I dropped the name, but
it's okay to have your dreams. You never know. If you don't say them out loud, it's harder for those dreams to come true.
Yeah, you're right. And I think we are going to have someone on the next album as well. This was so much fun, and it kind of it breathes life into the album. I think it's really necessary, and it's also really hard to kind of make parts for someone else. So that's a challenge.
It gives a nice little, almost feeling like a bonus track at the end, even though it's not a bonus track. It kind of feels like that, and everybody likes the extra gift, you know. So it works out really well, I think.
Yeah. Nico, our bass player, said that the way he sees it, it's kind of it's the ending credits to a movie, and that I think that's close. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I have one last question for you, because I know you're extremely tired after that release party, so I don't want to keep you any longer. And that question is, I mean, you guys have released now 4 records. There's definitely an evolution between each record. You could see the band becoming bigger, better, more mature, understanding better your sound, yourselves individually. You guys signed with Napalm Records on your 3rd album. This is your 2nd album with Napalm Records. Is there, what kind of doors are you hoping this album opens, but perhaps even the next album helps become, keep those doors permanently open, not just open them once, but permanently open for you guys?
Well, of course, the main thing for us is to kind of get to tour as much as we can. That's kind of the thing we want to do. And the last time we didn't have that chance. Of course, we are hoping that now we will get to tour Europe and States and whoever wants to have us. I think that's kind of and when you get to tour, it naturally opens new doors. You meet people you need to meet. You get new fans, and you kind of become better as a band. So that's the one thing that comes to mind first. And yeah, of course, I hope that we kind of, it's hard to say at this point as to kind of how good we have done, but hopefully this album kind of we kind of get to expand our audience a bit. That's what I hope. We'll see. It's really too early to tell, but at this point everything seems to go as planned, I think.
Well, I think you guys are a great band. I think you guys need to continue to make the music that you're making. Listen to my advices. Add some interludes on the next record. Maybe have me on vocals on the next record. I don't know. I'm full of great ideas, but all of them help me, not necessarily you. So it's always a pleasure talking to you. It's always a pleasure listening to your music. You guys have been one of those bands that we discovered a very long time ago on the channel, and we've always supported you guys on the channel. We'll continue to do so. We have nothing but love for you guys, and you know that. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in North America touring here. It would be an absolute blast to see you guys here. So best of luck with this album. I hope those doors open for you and they stay open for a very long time. You guys deserve it. You guys work extremely hard. I know that. The people around you know that. Everybody needs to know that. You guys work extremely hard. So thank you very much for taking the time today.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. This is always a pleasure. No matter how tired you are, it's always fun.
Thank you very much. Take care, man. All the best.
You too.